In a world teeming with supernatural claims, from aliens and ghosts to cryptids, religions, and other unexplained phenomena, enter Captive Desk that offers a skeptic's perspective. Join us for engaging discussions, opinions, scientific analysis, and a dash of humor as we delve into the unknown, unravel the mysterious, and confront the otherworldly as we seek to distinguish fact from fiction at the Captive Desk. Hello, can everybody hear me all right? See Scott and Mighty Filbert doing a little audio check. I don't have my usual setup, so I was just, kind of winging it and just here to talk to y'all guys for a little bit and let you know an update of what's going on. As you can see, I'm wearing my cancer shirt. It says you FD, FF, FFFF, FFF all over it. Everybody knows what I mean by that. Talking about quite an ugly thing. Everybody can hear me? All right, good. It's just me. It's no video or anything. I'm just chatting. If anybody wants to come on, let me know. I don't have a lot of happiness to talk about. This is not a happy stream. I know these streams don't do very well. These videos don't do very well. People don't want to hear it. But I promise that, right on through, I would let you know what's going on. Some people don't want to. I don't have a problem with it. And again, if you have any questions about anything, I'm just a dude. That's all I claim to be. Playing around in Minecraft, okay? Don't take anything I say seriously as it would say, but, you can listen to my experience. Maybe apply it to your own. I do have things kind of lighthearted around here, and I speak of these things in a lighthearted way too. If that bothers you, you might as well stop listening right now because, I'm just a dude, okay? I'm not a psychologist. I'm not here for your emotions or any of that stuff. I'm just telling you what I've been going through. Now, everybody seems to hear okay. All right, good deal. What are you going to do? Something's going to find you in the end, right? This found me. Hopefully it found me early enough to be detected. So we'll see. I get my first MRI in January, I think. And then that's basically what I am. Going back real quick, for those that haven't seen my video or known what's my first video or what's going on, it's basically that I was going to do some home improvement and I wasn't feeling like myself. And I had told the wife and everything. Well, one day I got dizzy and I sat right down on my butt. Luckily, it was in the house. Everything was fine. I even had my hands on something when it happened. This whole thing couldn't have been better towards me for as bad as it is. But I right down on my butt, my legs gave out. It's like from the hips down, I was shut down for very short time. I got back up. I got my snack. I said, I got to go to the doctor or the hospital, though. Obviously, I'm just a dude. Hashtag just a dude. Okay. A lot of us are stubborn. Most of us are stubborn about going to doctors and hospitals and stuff, right? And I was making sure, it wasn't just overdoing it, right? Because I was starting a home project up on a roof. A lot of work, a lot of lumberyard visits, everything. Stuff is heavy. Figured this old guy's just overdoing it, Well, I felt dizzy. I said, I'm not right. So we went, sure enough, they said, yeah, there's something wrong with you. Mr. Murray, I want you to speak to a neurologist. You got a mass on the back of your head, pushing on your brain stem. That's what's making you dizzy. It's one of the symptoms. And I said, well, that's kind of obvious. That's not a good thing to be happening. I had an awesome surgeon. A friend from high school even had the same surgeon. He's spoken well of, everything, all that kind of stuff. Said, he called me by my first name. He said, Dave. He didn't call me Mr. or whatever you want to call it, patient. They're calling you by your first names now, you know. He looks me right in the eye and he said, Dave, you can go home right now, but you probably won't bring yourself back. And it's serious, you know. Looked me dead in the eye, gave me the bad news. There was some on the back of my head. Now, since then, they found out it was cancerous. It was floating around my blood, ended up in my brain. But yeah, that's what made me dizzy, and that's why I noticed it. Fortunately, I was not in an awkward position, an unsafe position. I wasn't on the roof, wasn't on a ladder, didn't have tools in my hand, nothing like that. Again, it was the best of the worst news I could get. This guy removed what was on the back of my head. It is not there anymore. However, I was giving radiation chemo treatments to follow up about stuff in my blood, because this is one of those diseases that once you have it, you have it, okay? They just, how well they can treat it or operate on you or whatever, that keeps it at bay. But basically, they only follow things by scans and various ones. I'm going to get an MRI I believe it's every third trip. So beginning of the next month, I think, is my MRI, and we will know more. I did notice that, was it one side of my head? It's hard to keep. I think this side is rather thin where they hit me somewhere. They describe it as like a sunburn on your skin and with the cells, and that's why people lose hair. But I've been fortunate. My hair just looks a little thin, and in the back where they cut me and everything, it's been growing. So there's good news there. I am healthy enough. However, going to the doctor recently, I'll get you caught up. I did lose some weight, and they are concerned about me putting on some weight, which is unusual, going to the doctor telling you, eat whatever, just put on some weight, right? So in the fall, they did find this thing in my head, had it removed, gave me some bad news. But I have treated it very lightly, and I've been keeping everybody updated. People ask, how you doing? Well, this is how I'm doing. Most days, I'm just me, okay? What can you say? The toughest part about this is going to the doctor and the surgeries and the chemos, whatever you got to get done. And the worst part for us in chemo is the taste. I don't know. I'm not speaking for anybody but me. But for me, I see something and my stomach growls, but I want to eat it, and it tastes like hot garbage. It really does. If you think people are just fooling around and they can just swallow it like castor oil with a pill in the old movies, it ain't nothing like that. Okay, it is the hardest thing you could ever put in your mouth type thing. All right. So the hardest part for me has been losing some weight. Now, she was freaking out because I had put on weight, and I had put on water weight and everything back about the surgery. But then adding it all up correctly, I am down 14 pounds from the day my head hurt. So I got to find 14 pounds because there was a reason my jeans were falling down me. 14 pounds, right? So the biggest concern right now is me just eating. So I've been trying lots of things. And if I can just tolerate it, I'll eat some bites and stuff just to get the calories or the protein. So I am aware of the issue. My wife is treating me like she should. Eat something. And she is absolutely right. And the doctor said, eat something. And I said, you're absolutely right, too. And I'm pulling up my pants, and I'm like, yeah, I got to eat something, okay? Most of the time, my spirits are good, though. I understand that I, like many people, have something wrong with me, and I'm hoping for the best. And we do have good modern science, the doctors, and right on down the line, the nurses, people who give you treatments are all awesome people. Modern science is a wonder. The advancements they're making all the time, they're a wonder. So I have the best of the worst situation, so to speak. I was watching a video earlier of some youngins that are just struggling with all kinds of awful things. A friend of mine just told me his cousin's kid or something like that, 5-year-old, just diagnosed with leukemia. I mean, these youngins shouldn't have to deal with this stuff. As bad as mine is, No. Weed, I've gave up all smoking. I do have some gummies, John. And a friend of mine was talking about some CBD concentrates and all that kind of stuff. I'm not smoking anything, though. I haven't been smoking. I did smoke cigarettes. Bad, David. I know. And I did smoke weed and everything. Once I got a diagnosis, everything went in the garbage or for resale. And I do have some gummies, though, to keep especially for my stomach. And most of the times, like yesterday, taking a steroid and taking a gummy, no, don't do that. You're too buzzed. I was spinning. It was too much last night doing my show. I usually catch a little one, and have a good time. And steroids. No, I'm gonna watch that. They're giving me steroids. Okay, so anyway, they caught it in the fall. They operated on me. They cut the back of my head. They took the thing out, and they sent me for all these treatments. And basically, as he said, like a gardener who would pull a big weed out of their garden, if there's any roots left, those things will grow back, right? Well, that's what they're aiming for. They're trying to shoot down all the roots in my garden, right? Because of this thing that was on my head. Now, what you want to call it is cancer. It is cancer. I mean, I got cancer. If you want to call it lung cancer or brain cancer, it's kind of hard to decide. They've officially, I guess, call it brain cancer because it ended up as a tumor in my brain. But what it does is these things float around in your system. And trust me, they looked all around my system with all kind of cameras and poking me and prodding me. They looked in all the orifices, down my throat, up my, you know what, and everything else, and didn't find anything. And then summarized right back to, okay, it's this one spot that's on my left lung. Now, young people or anybody that is putting anything, anything in your lungs at all is bad. So I hate to break it to you. And I'm not holier than thou. Okay, do what you want. I'm just telling you what I've learned is anything in your lungs is bad. So I have gone to some edibles, and they are telling you about the other stuff. I'm not a drinker. Never really was, except, certain occasions or whatever, beer on the 4th of July type guy, right? Maybe something to celebrate the anniversary, have a glass of wine or something. I'm a teetotaler as far as that goes. So mostly I've been sober except for RXs. Now, after my surgery, everything went well. The neurosurgeon's been real happy with me, even my healing and everything. Even though I had some swelling, he said, it's okay. You're all right. Don't worry about it. Just keep an eye on it. And I said, okay, I'm doing everything right. My head healed up. They did the radiation on me. That went well. And it was sometime around my son's birthday that I lost my taste, which was the middle of November. I started losing some taste. And now I'm at the point of I've lost a lot of taste. Taste, not appetite. I am saying it right this time. Hey, pat me on the back. Ooh. It's my taste, not my appetite, because some will look good. Like the pork chops looked delicious last night, right? Told the old lady, break me off the best part, the little medallion there in the corner. Break me off the best part of the pork chop, right? And she had made them with no seasonings or nothing, just good old pork chop. I thought, man, that looks good, all browned, and give me that little medallion there. And sure enough, after a couple of bites into it, it was just, I'm sure it was delicious. But when your taste buds are sabotaged, it just wasn't delicious. And it just totally ruins the experience. So anyway, I've been trying to find things. Led up to everything went well. Surgery went well. Recuperation, ICU, everything went well. I was diagnosed, however, and they are very serious when they diagnose you with something. They look you right in the eye and they tell you, this is how it is. And I appreciate that. I don't want to be beating around the bush. I'm not a little kid where I have to be sent out in the hallway when they talk to my parents or anything, right? Look at me in the eye and tell me what's wrong with me. So they did, and they said, this is what we suggested and we're going to do. So they put me in the mask so I couldn't move. And just like in the Incredible Hulk, right? They line you all up and beep. Well, you can tell where they really beeped you, like I say, by the thin spot in my head over here. And my owie doesn't have any hair on it. But most of my head came through okay. I'm just a little thin. Took a survey of me, and I said, I would say my hair is like I haven't washed it. You know, when you're kind of greasy. Okay. I don't know what they call it these days, flat, whatever. In my day, you were kind of greasy, right? But I have most of my hair, and I didn't lose my chin hair, facial hair, or anything else. So I'll take what I can get. But they did zap me with a laser for a whole week, pinned in place. It was very claustrophobic. If you are claustrophobic, you may need the drugs to do it or something. And this whole time, I'm juked on steroids. So I'm up, down, falling asleep, not going to sleep, all over the map while they're doing all this stuff. Then they, as soon as they were done with that, they started with the chemo treatment, and I just had another one on Friday. And since I'm riding high on steroids and everything, because yes, they do roid you up for the treatments, but it's not as long-term as after the surgery. And that was one of my problems with my legs swelled and everything else, was coming down from too long being on these brain steroids and non-bleeders or whatever they had me on, non-somethings. But anyways, when you're on these things long-term and they bring you down, one of the effects was swelling in the legs, which was a lot of fun. So my legs swelled up, and I had to take medicine to get my legs to swell back down. It's like, gee whiz, you can't, anyway, the side effects are always, something you make fun of on the TV channels and everything. Well, hey, folks that are watching this, and some of you know, swelling is one of the worst parts. After surgery or whatever, retaining fluids is just terrible. So, yeah, you wig out with roids. See, I just, I think I talk too much on roids. But I did have an appetite. Now, then when they take you off and they give you these other things, they're just awful in your mouth, and you smell it in your, what, when you take a whiz, and you can smell those chemicals, Thanks a lot, Scott Duke. Scott Duke dropping $1.99, says, keep laughing, Dave. It's great medicine. Yeah, I cried for myself. I'm not going to lie. Doctor gave me some bad news. It's like anybody gets bad news from a doctor, you kind of feel sorry for yourself. But then you're like, Dave, you're old, right? Look around at these young people. I mean, that's a tragedy. I mean, yes, everybody would like to be cured, but how long do you want to live enters the question. If I'm cured of this, well, how long do I want to live after this? Do I want to get this? Do I want to get that? Do I want to end up at an age in a wheelchair where somebody's wiping me? You gotta, start picking ages. Do you want to be immortal? Just get everything replaced one by one as it wears out? A lot of questions come in. But, hey, I appreciate everybody that's offering me help. I really do. Appreciate everybody that checks on me and asks me to do these videos that said, hey, you're pretty upbeat, let people know what to expect. They might be going through it. So anyways, like I said, I for, serious news, they had a plan. The doctors and nurses, everybody, all been great. I mean, and I also had a port put in. So there's like a third nipple on my chest. And it's someplace to inject me. So I don't have to get all these shots. And I have a bracelet and a thing in my wallet that tells everybody, hey, he's got a port. So don't jab him everywhere, because my port arms were black and blue. They just healed up. So yay, at least my arms aren't purple, right? So I've got I call it a third nipple. It's right over here. It's right here. And it's just like a connection for a needle. And it's got a little IV that goes into the vein. So they're just giving it right to you. So that is one of the advances they've made, is people that are getting a lot of shots. You might as well get a port and keep getting it. It looks like kind of like an earbud, right? With the gel on it that you can keep practicing injections on, for IVs or whatever. So it's good for like 5 years. So I guess it can take a lot of shots. And they'll give you a cream too to help numb it and everything. So they try to help you out with the needle part, because Dave don't do needles good. Oh no, I don't. So it was one of the big, every time they do it, I'm looking the other way, So thank you for that. Thank you, modern medicines, and all these things. I just wish they could do something about the taste. Now, getting up to, I'm getting chemo now. My radiation went fine. I did a week of that. They pin you down, just like I said, Incredible Hulk, lasers, so you're hitting you in the exact same place each time you go. For a week straight, I had treatment, and then I'm going for 14 treatments with the chemicals, and those are the drugs part of the chemo. All I do is get IVs of these drugs along with the drugs like an IV, anti-nausea and everything that helps you take the drugs. And the total takes about 3-4 hours to do. You just sit there, they give you a little TV. It's like a mini bedroom in a hospital. You got your call button, you can watch your TV, whatever. I take my phone and my earplugs. So by the time you talk to people and I read a few pages in one of my books or something, it's time to start wrapping up for the day. Well, this is the last one. Oh, cool. They did hook me up with the IV notice that because I have been low on fluids and foods, if I say, hey, give me an IV, they will. So they gave me a whole big bag, hours worth of IV fluids. And along with all the other IV, because most of the drugs are just swimming in some IV fluid, right? Even though it's a smaller side, the one bag was only like yay big, right? They're only giving you so many drugs. You're still getting a lot of solutions. So make sure you hit the head before you leave. Either use the patient one or the non-patient one, because you'll be full of fluid. And I was going like a horse, as they say. But anyway, I am up to the point of I'm past radiation, I'm into chemo, 14 weeks, so it's about a year's worth that they're going to have me planned for. Every 3 weeks, I get my drugs, all right? They're giving me the 3 main drugs that target tumors, coincidentally. So I do have a type of cancer that, loves certain parts of the body, which many of them do. And this one, once it gets in your bloodstream is when they get bad. They get what they call it basically a stage 4, because at that time they could end up anywhere. Mine ended up obviously showing me something was wrong in the back of my head. So I'm counting, I know you might not be talking to me right now. I might not have said goodbye to my wife or kids or anything. You might have just found me. Okay. It was pretty bad. So again, to modern medicine, being modern surgery, they put me in an ambulance, took me over to the other hospital, and all those people involved in that they saved my life that day, because I was in dire straits. I went from, planning a project to the emergency room within a couple of weeks, right? I was in pretty bad shape. So love me or hate me, the reason you're hearing from me now is modern medicine. And this guy saying, hey, I'm going to take you to the operating room right now. And off they took me. And I made a quick little recording, kind of my last word, just in case, And I told my wife, hey, I put my last word on the phone, just in case you want to know. I love you, and I love the boys, just in case, right? You know what to do? Yeah, okay. Then there's the reality hits in of, wow, they just had my head cut open, did me surgery, right? So I'm all the way down the road now. And for as bad as things are, again, I've had good luck. I've had a good surgery, good surgeon. The surgery went well. The chemo is, as far as I know, is going well. I'm not damaged in any way, except for I don't have a lot of energy. But again, I'm down weight and I'm on drugs. So, I told the wife it's hard to tell what is really me, right? As far as I know, I don't have anything seriously damaged anywhere. The only thing is the taste thing. Now, getting up to going through the chemo and whatever you're going through. Hey, Ed. Hey, sorry. Yeah, well, I take the sympathy and I appreciate it. But like I tell everybody, like I was just talking earlier, how old do you want to live to, right? If I live another 10 or 20 years, which is what's an average for a guy right now, a white guy in America is about 75, right? So that gives me another 15 years. Well, if I get hit by a bus in 15 years, is that okay? No, it's so the something's going to find you, right? Otherwise, you're going to be immortal. And then you got to bring up immortality, which is, a problem in itself, right? But I am lucky they found this, and I had a good surgeon, good nurses, doctors. Everybody's been great, except for the lady that made my arm all black and blue that one time. Yes, I am joking, but I'm kind of serious. Every once in a while you get a bad one, and man, it turns your arm purple. But and I'm all healed up, so at least that. Now, I just got to find something to put on some weight, and there's lots of dangers in roofing. Luckily, we're doing the modern stuff, and you use the ice and water shield on your last row. So I told the boys, I watched a guy slide right off the roof because he didn't have no ice and water shield on there. And it's got traction like roofing does, like asphalt. You run that underlayment right to the edge, though, with no ice guard. And he went sliding right off the edge. I was like, oh, I could just see that happening, too. And our valley, we're putting metal in. So as long as you watch what you're doing, we don't have a very steep slope. So you're all right. So, but everybody's been great. I got to give a shout out to my wife, too. All that I've put her through. Now I'm putting her through one more thing because, she's my taxi. They don't let me drive much, if at all. Not supposed to drive. And she's the one that's try this, try that, and has to hear this sucks. And when I'm having a bad time, she has to put up with it. And she gives me a what for right back in my ear like she should and straightens me out. And yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm being a dick. I shouldn't say these things. Not her fault that I got sick, right? She's doing everything that she can help. And she misses sleep to take me to treatments. And, a salute to Mrs. Desk, all right? And anybody's partner or friend that's taking them to these things, it's always hard to do. So, anybody taking care of anybody, salute. And though especially the ones taking care of the little ones and stuff, extra salutes. It's got to be really hard. So, excuse me. Thank you, Mrs. Desk. Can't appreciate you enough for all that you do. And even though you're not, you yourself has said that I could never be a caretaker. You're a pretty good caretaker. I mean, what you did for your mother and what you're doing for me and everything. Now, like I said, rest assured, before I go any farther, this is not about feel sorry for me. This is just information and how I am. Okay, I'm just letting you know what's happening. I have insurance and all that kind of stuff. So right now, I am doing fine. This is not a handout party or nothing like that. This is just an info party on what's going on with me, and for everybody that's asked and everything, people that may just wonder, have some questions or whatever, take this for what it is. And by all means, look stuff up yourself. As I tell you about any subject, don't take anybody's word for it. Always look around, all that kind of stuff. Now I am doing the chemo. I say it takes, I have to have lab work done, see my doctor, and then go to the chemos. Because if anything, basically the way I had explained to me now is that I am an MRI patient, which means they're going to see if the surgery and or treatments are doing me any good, if things are coming back, if they're growing, if they're not growing, if they're in remission, etc. Now, they do lab works on you before your stuff to show obvious red flags of why you shouldn't go through chemo. So there's a reason you go and you get the doctor and the labs and everything, is they're checking you for big red flags like my weight loss, which is why they did adjust my one drug, I guess, because of my weight loss. But they weren't obviously counting that I put on weight and had water weight when they weighed me before. So, but I am aware of the 14 pounds. I am important that it is. I had a PET scan. I had everything, farm. I did MRI, several MRIs. I've done with contrast. I've done X-rays. I've done PET scans, and I've done what's the other one? I've done them all. They ran me through everything. Like within 2 weeks, I had every test, every scan, and every part of my body done. I had the whole body PET scan, the whole body MRI, just the head MRI, and the regulars, some other kind of scan. Plus, I had X-rays. So yeah, they hit it, and they did the blood, they did the breathing. I'm now having an echocardiogram still done. Yeah, the toast too. Now I haven't said anything about toast, but they've been going after my toast too. This taste thing just needs to be taken care of. Let me tell you what, because we got to have the toast, okay? But yeah, we are in a situation though where my wife can buy stuff at the store, and get my meds are paid for mostly, and good stuff like that. So I am sitting in a good situation right now. I just need to find something that'll get past those bad taste buds, because the way it's explained to me is just the way in school, different taste buds are different receptors, and when they're damaged or they're getting bad information, or as I found out, and this will bring me back to where I was, your mouth is a type of filter too. So that's why you always taste like bad things, is it's part of your filtration system, which also affects your eyes and your nose, and why you can get a sniffly nose if you smell something, and all these things connect. And see, I'm learning stuff as I go here, marching along with the Reaper hand in hand. We're going to school in the morning, right? And we're learning all this stuff. So it's I joke about the Reaper, and I joke about cancer. It's like, hey, cancer, you fuck F with the F, and F and F and FF right on down the shirt. I had to get a big size because it has so many words on it. But we all face it sooner or later. It's hard on me talking about the people who are younger than me. I don't look old, but I am old. At least I told I'm not. I don't look old, but and I appreciate that. These gray hairs are showing it, though. I did sprout some gray hairs recently, I will admit. So my biggest problem right now is eating. I just had chemo on Friday, like I said. It went well. The guy was real cool. Certain things just, and temperatures affect foods, and it's a whole experience with the food thing. As far as doing your chemo, I've also heard about alternatives. People are talking about infusions and CBDs and mushroomies, and the list goes on and on. However, these things aren't proven in this country. They are proven in some other countries. They are experimented with in other countries. It's hard to tell where exactly the situation is. A lot of it, like I told John, comes down to with your stomach and stuff. It is proven, and has been proven a long time, for chemo patients to be taken for their stomach, not as something in exchange of. So there are people that do a combination of. There are people that when they hear that word, they say, nope, I'm going all natural. I'm not doing chemo, because that word is, I think, the worst part of it is hearing that word. It's not the cancer part, because with cancer, you can go away, it can go in remission. You can almost be cured of some of these things with surgeries and stuff, and drugs, some of the really mild forms. But generally, you always have it, and you are, you're a patient. You know what I mean? You get a bracelet. But I kind of made peace with the things, right? So when the doctor says something, or the nurse says something, I try to take it in, ask questions, and be as informed as possible in the 21st century and act like it. I wasn't always the most take care of myself person, but I didn't have a lot of things wrong with me, and a lot of people do. I don't feel any more sympathy for myself than I've had for, or that I do for people that, or you should, for people who've had things and been struggling with for a long time, most of their lives. things are piling on. You know, when you go to the doctor and the doctor just says, sign, all these papers that say no, 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 no. Don't you just have one that says I don't have any of these things wrong with me, right? I was that person until September. So right now, yeah, food, soup. Yeah, see, soup is tough too because of temperature. Temperature has a lot to do with it. If it has meat in it, I'm down to some. I've got some fish sticks and stuff like that. I'm gonna try those. I'm running out of meat choices. I've really just been sticking some chicken in my mouth, and most side dishes seem to be all right. It just depends on the sauce. So if you would take a side dish of potatoes, noodles, rice, whatever, and mostly plain, everybody says put butter on for calories, which is all right by me. But a lot of your sides are okay. It's what you put on the sides. So you put ketchup, dressing, mayo, whatever you're putting on. So like eggs are good for me, and they're good in protein and everything. And I can actually eat eggs. They're kind of a bland thing when you don't put anything on them, right? So I don't have any problems. Well, not too many problems putting them away, right? So I have ate some eggs and stuff, and then they do have protein in them and some calories. So it's kind of good around. I've been drinking a lot of milk. I think I had like 3 glasses of milk today, and that has a lot of stuff in it. So I've been trying to get my stuff from here and there, but my wife is worried about me losing protein and muscle mass. So, Kafai, yeah, I'll put a thing in. Like I say, this is just letting everybody know. Let me find a thing here. So like I say, I'm up into getting the chemo and deciding, hey, is this, am I going to be able to eat this, right? Because drop a link. Anybody who wants to talk about fun things like this is welcome to join. I was just letting everybody kind of knowing that. There we go. Pin it too. If you want to hop in, because like I said, not giving advice to anybody, just what I've been going through, right? One of the things is all the alternatives and everything. I understand there's plenty of alternatives. There's natural alternatives, all the different things I've heard before. I've also heard that's okay, Brainless. It's not a big deal. It's just a little hangout here. Letting people know where I'm at. A lot of people ask me, so I'm letting them know where I'm at, what I'm personally am going through, what I agree with, that it is lousy in your mouth. When people are talking about it, don't say, oh, just grin and bear it, because that's the last thing we want to hear, because you don't understand. It's like having the worst thing in your mouth ever, okay? And people just telling you, don't be a baby and eat it. Well, you do it. Okay, I don't see you lined up with your Fear Factor application, right? Some things are just awful in your mouth, and you're in your mouth does that for good reason. It's telling your body get that out of your mouth, right? It's just doing it for good reasons. But as far as everything else that goes, like I said, as far as I know, I don't have any physical ailments other than the weight loss. So pick on a couple pounds and I'll be good to go. With anything else, I need to, here, click 2 people. Wait a minute. There we go.
Old man here.
How you doing? For having gray hair. Well, I've just been telling folks, what my experience has been, that modern medicine is wonderful. They are making quite advances. I'm having a bit of a hard time. I did miss one show and another show when I was in the hospital and everything. But I've been trying to be upbeat.
I know what you want the time.
That's so you've got turn the video off on the video, or turn the volume off on the video.
There we
because
go.
you've got two of them up running. That's what it is. And there's Kafai. How you doing, Kafai?
Yeah, I was waiting to talk to you, man. Been wanting to talk to you.
Hope I ain't got nothing showing in the background there.
No, you've
didn't
just got
say-
mostly walls. It's
It's my-
mostly walls.
Just my ugly face.
Well, it's like I said too. I told the wife, you got to be careful when you start getting older because you can break a bone easier, and
Fuck you.
things just get frail, right? I mean, you got gray hair, John, right? I mean, I'm not dissing. I'm almost 60 years old. I got gray hair.
I can't. I just lay in bed and hurt all the time. Tendons and arthritis and everything. Bitch and moan. But it ain't that bad, really.
Yeah,
When
me and
it-
John,
I get by.
me and John know because Captain Desi. At least you get to say you have a full, beautiful head of hair. Man. So get the hell
That's-
out of here.
That's the thing.
All get out.
I still have most of my hair, so you take what you can get, But like I was saying, I said to the wife, when you're almost 60 years old, I mean, you're getting old. I mean,
I know what you mean. You combed your beard. I can't even show myself on camera. I'm younger.
I know.
He shampooed
Maybe I'll
it.
get brave in a little bit, but I'm trying to avoid not showing my tangled, mustache or whatever, filter mustache.
I couldn't stand the stuff by my lips. I could only stand it by my mouth. Really bothered me. So, and right under my nose and all.
Yeah,
I tried
just
the
nasty.
stash and the goatee and everything.
I
and
like it, man.
it
It's
just
very-
bugged me.
Bacteria
yeah.
grows in there.
Are you by chance a fan of Pantera? Because it's very Pantera.
I could listen to him for a while. I like to thrash a little bit. Yeah.
I love Pantera, man. Dime. I mean, he spent a lot of time. I'm from Texas, and he spent a lot of time here. He wasn't born here,
I
but
thought he had a Texas accent.
yeah, he spent a lot of time here. But this is where they killed him. He had it was a recording studio because musician, and then a strap.
Texas Saudi
slash,
Arabia.
slash strip joint. Like your two favorite things, and they were doing a show, and someone decided to take him out, man. And his bodyguards took out. Yeah, it was a whole fiasco. Maybe you've heard of it. I'm pretty sure you heard of Dime, the way he went out. But very crazy. But man,
I'm more of a corn guy, but
no, dude, hell yeah, I love him too, man. Field D.
I feel more like corn with a shirt on like this, like F you.
Yeah, you give me like Field D vibes. Jonathan.
Who's
Davis,
that? Rammstein. Rammstein? Is that
Rammstein. Yeah. Well, if I was a younger person, I would have liked to partied with them in my 20s. Oh
They're
yeah,
on a wonderful show. They're like a Broadway show.
there's some crazy
Can't
dudes,
understand the
man.
things they can't understand what he's saying. It's starting falling Punkenstein.
Yeah, well, you got to get him in English. He's one of those German English ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a full spectrum. I mean, I love female singers. So I love the female voice. I'm not being gender specific or anything, but you know what I mean. Just that, even if it's a male, I mean, it doesn't really matter. But it's that really light sound, and I also like the, walk and with a good bass line. So I'm
singing high.
I was gonna say my only real problem is with some of the country music. I don't find it to be in the same genre, and it's the same like with rap and stuff. It's not instrumental or enough for me or something.
It follows the same plan. A lot of them follow the same.
Yeah, right.
I was gonna ask you, like, if you're, I don't know, you don't have to list your top now.
Sells.
I'm a rocker. I'm a rocker. I go back to Sabbath and Iron Maiden and Zeppelin and.
Okay, your favorite rock anthems, like a female singer, if they had to redo them, like who would you pick? You like Amy Lee?
I don't even know.
Amy Lee's Evanescence, a female singer, but she tried to do like Tool, A Perfect Circle, Nirvana.
Okay, sound. Yeah, that sound. Yeah, I like that sound too. Yeah. I'm around the rock spectrum, the spectrum of rock fully.
David Bryan, is that his name, Brian, the autistic guy, Talking Heads? He's got a new gig going.
Yeah,
he's underrated.
Colorful. It's really
he's an underrated talent. He had a lot of talent.
Stage show now.
Yeah, no, I what I was trying to figure out is like, how do you like the female? Like in general, you just like the female voice, or you have any specific, professionals?
No, it can be a language I don't even understand.
Oh, okay, so you just like the female, the feminine voice.
The way they carry notes and stuff. But see, so did like Freddie Mercury and guys like that too. They could just carry a note. Alex Rose. A lot of those guys could just carry a note really well.
It's crazy because like I've always felt the same way, man. I've never pointed to specific names. Like that's why I said MED, but even beside her, like just like a female aspect.
That kind, sure.
Hell yeah. There's one like, man. I have a fantasy of some female. This is a challenge to all females out there. But a female to sing "We'll Burn the Sky" by Scorpions.
Female challenge.
Yeah,
I know Scorpions too.
Yeah, this is an early Scorpion. A lot of people don't know of this. It's an early Scorpions before they. It's Uli John Roth lead guitarist before they got Schenker. A lot of people don't know about it, but they had a song called "We'll Burn the Sky." I challenge any female to sing that one. Oh my God! If they would rule the world. You would see the first female president right after that. If they.
I like when they do the mantras and stuff, and they just carry those notes and it sounds like it's echoing out of some old church walls or something. It's really beautiful. I mean, I've heard some religious songs that are very beautiful. It has nothing to do with the religion. I mean, the song itself is just beautiful, and it doesn't matter what they're singing about, for what religion. I mean, obviously to a point, but that you hear that song. Yeah.
No, hell yeah.
Van Morrison be singing, "Who's that coming across the lake? Walking across the lake? Why? The Sunners."
I'm pretty
sure within certain limits, obviously. A lot of those songs are quite beautiful. Religious and whose religion aside, it's a beautiful song or it's not. I find though a lot of religious songs are the same thing. They're written in the same mold. They're cheap. They're cheesy. But some of them are beautiful, especially some of the old hymns. Yeah, the old mantras and everything,
Oh yeah.
They can be quite beautiful to listen to and calming too, even when you don't understand them. And then you find out the words are pretty much in line with what you thought they were. They're something beautiful and something to set your mind to. They can be quite beautiful. I think we'd share a lot of interest in music if I.
Yeah, hell yeah.
How do I get out of this, Dave?
Hey, Mama.
Well,
just remove yourself out.
Do I hit my picture or something?
Look
those little dots. Hit those little dots.
Okay.
There's mushrooms on your shirt.
I'm no longer a star. Thanks, Dave.
Okay, John. Talk to you later. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I like Mariah Carey and the octaves that she say. They say she can hit like the 7th, 8th octave. I don't even know what the hell she's doing, but it's these female singers, man. And the only way you get it with the males, they say the falsetto, where they castrate them, and you've heard of that, like where they dedicate their life to the music, and
that's a little bit too extreme.
Well, I mean, it's a real,
I'm just moving you around. I'm not trying to.
No, I understand that.
I understand why it's not doing it right.
I'm just saying that it's something in history. I forgot what it's called, but there is actually that aspect like that where these to hit those falsettos, it was a dedication to castrating. Yeah, it's insane, man. I play guitar. I love music.
A long way from a lot of mushrooms, huh?
Guitarded, yeah.
Hey, while you're here, what have you heard about microdosing or whatever for the big C word? Not that we're giving any advice to anybody. These are just experiences, and this is not. You can call it Minecraft if you want to.
Yeah,
we're just talking Minecraft. But Kafai, what's your opinion on it?
Man, you mentioned.
Oh, and hello, Chris.
Hello.
What you're going through, and I wanted to chime in because I thought it was very touching what you said, man. It was very beautiful, very poetic, and I hope you can overtake it, man. Dude, I want you to live forever, brother. I fucking love you, man. It's badass.
Me too. So far, so good.
And yeah. But it's funny because at the same time, a lot of people associate me with psychedelics. I kind of. It doesn't bother me at this point.
Oh, I know you do other things. I see you around, so I've heard you.
It's very understandable. It's cool. I don't mind.
I know where you're coming from. So
yeah,
I just asked you because you're on that.
Yeah,
you're on that plane. You know what I mean?
I think people confuse they think I'm on shrooms all the time or something. You know what I mean?
No, we know where you're at.
I am interested in the psychedelic science behind all these topics. And
that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking you. Yeah.
Be enamored by that and doing these things on a certain basis is two different things. Like the last time, if I was going to be honest with you, man, the last time I took a heroic dose, it's been years for me, man. I want to say it's been maybe 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Well, what would you do if you got some bad news? Would you look into what his name?
Well, no, yeah,
JOP or whatever it's called.
Having said that, to answer your question about the microdose, man, I always thought someone like you, man, you're very sound mind, all that. I think you would benefit a lot from taking a single heroic dose, just one. You know what I mean? And I don't want.
What about? Are you talking about in my condition or before my condition?
No, your condition right now, man.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason I say that is
in Minecraft, of course. We're just talking.
Yeah, a lot of people will condemn me and tell me this is very dangerous. You know what I mean? You shouldn't even be suggesting this to Captain Desk. What if he flips out and he wants to commit suicide? No.
Well, it's a different age, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. People will condemn me to death, man, and I've heard it.
Well, that's why you hear Minecraft a lot, and I'm not taking this lightly. It's very important.
Yeah, it's serious. It's very.
But
serious,
on YouTube, you want to talk about Minecraft just because.
I agree with you, man, and it's good to throw caution at the wind, and that's exactly what you did right from the jump, right from the get go. You know what I mean? And but the thing is, there is a very huge difference between taking so-called microdoses and so-called heroic doses. It's a day.
So
and
you wouldn't think the microdose would actually do anything?
Man, for you, dude, man. It might. I don't think so, man.
I've done LSD and mushrooms and whatnot before, just not a measured dose, just a concert type thing. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to. Okay, are you pretty sober throughout? You don't even cheat with you drink alcohol, for instance. Is there?
I'm not a drinker, but I was always, puff pass type guy.
But you have a nicotine vice.
Yeah.
And
smoking.
That's every day? Every day?
Well, I used to smoke and I used to party.
When you wake up in the morning, it's the first thought in your mind, where the hell is my vape?
Well, I didn't vape, but yeah.
Something like that? All right. Okay.
But until I got some bad news and I threw that stuff in the garbage.
Yeah. All right, cool. And that's why we're here, right? That's why we're, that's why we're dealing with that, or you don't know. They haven't told you.
I'm doing everything my doctor tells me to do.
Yeah, but
one of them was don't put one of them smoky things in your mouth. I said yes, sir, and I said pfft. Yeah. I gave what I had left to the neighbor, and the rest went in the garbage can.
So you're convinced that's the consequence of that?
I've a lot of the careers I've been in as well. And, the neighbor got the same thing across the street and she never smoked. So, but because I was a smoker, I am a prime candidate. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because
and I'm a realist and I blame myself because I knew they weren't good for me. And I was actually anti when I was younger. I was more of a health nut.
Yeah.
And I just got lazy.
Well, why you never picked up that cannabis? Why not?
Yeah, but it wasn't a substitute for it, though. It was just something you did because we were the children of the 70s and 80s, and we were going to
So
concerts
the
and
hook was too deep. In other words, like, is that?
yeah, we went to concerts and we rolled one up and you passed it to your neighbor. You know, it was
Yeah.
a social thing to do. And then nowadays the stuff's just gotten better where people, dabbing and vaping and all this crazy ass shit. But yeah,
I hear you, my
absolutely.
brother. Yeah, I have my own vices as well that I'm trying to fucking kick, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I'm not. Last thing I'm trying to be is holier than thou. I mean, I've been a smoker, a partier. I've tried things over the years. I would be the last one to be holier than thou on anybody because what business do I have somebody not to not try it other than tell them, getting sick isn't the funnest, over a barrel,
Yeah, hell yeah.
the proverbial, type things, metaphorical, whatever. Yeah. You try to give advice, but sometimes person's just got to get sick over a barrel, to learn that drinking ain't that much fun,
You gotta experience it for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
I do agree with that. I mean, that's been the whole bane of my life, man. The frustration, like I try to talk to atheists about psychedelics, yet they, you know what I mean? Like that, man, until you've done it.
Now, would you open your mind to possibilities, or would you use it for with or without or alongside of going to your chemo or whatever?
Well, the way
whatever treatment you get.
Okay, yeah, I told you I stayed off for a little bit, but I kind of feel like I do kind of need it again in the sense that it's like a spanking from Mother Nature is the way I put it. Like if you lose your waist, like, man, a very high dose, like I kid you not, I've heard this even out of the scientific studies. Like they wanted to run like a survey on this, but they never got to get around to it. But one of the professionals, his name's Bill Richards, he noticed that a lot of the volunteers they couldn't hurt insects ever after they had this experience. Like they were letting the flies go out the door. You know what I mean? And like,
well, I've heard about guys that won't step on ants and they're checking the yard and everything. Yeah.
Man, it was intense, man. And I had that experience and I couldn't hurt a fly, you know what I mean? And
I've heard about it. Yeah.
And for me, it kind of faded. I fell back into a kind of like alcoholism because like I was an alcoholic in my teenage years, and I kind of went back to that. And my wife, a bumblebee came in the house, and she got all scared. She's like, "Get that shit out here or kill it or something." And I'm like, man, it came down to like, man, I couldn't grab it, dude, because I was all stoned and shit. And my only option was like, man, I guess I'm gonna have to fucking kill it, man. I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna have to fucking, I have to take it out. And I did it, and that was the first time that I had done that since that trip. And I was noting myself let go, going back into ways that weren't good for me, like the alcoholism, like I mentioned. And so I see the trip as kind of like if it corrects your past, like putting you back on God's side. I noticed
the chat says I look all right, but I said I'm a little skinny though, right?
Dude, man,
I got to put on the weight. Kafai, what's fattening that my stomach can handle? What would you advise?
Oh man, don't ask me. I'll tell you how to really mess.
Well, I'm taking all comments. I need them.
No,
what's good? What's good for you that doesn't?
Peanuts.
I have been able to eat some peanuts, especially the coated ones and everything, and cashews too.
What about peanut butter jelly sandwich, something like that?
Now bread has been really awful, but the missus is hoping that I would eat some peanut butter.
I don't want to mess up your metabolism, man. I mean, there has
dude,
to be
it's screwed. It's screwed right now. I mean. The problem isn't that I don't want it, it's that it doesn't taste good. And things like mustard I found out are really good for like numbing your mouth because they're so overpowering. Yeah. But if you're going to take more than a couple bites of it, the mustard wears off.
Well,
so you need a small enough. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, it's just that from what I understand, it is like you're going through chemotherapy, right?
Right.
And it's the quote unquote cancer is essentially
Cancer.
It's
Fuck
essentially in the like it basically it's
They
a
found
brain
some in the
tumor.
back of my head.
Okay. I'm not exactly too sure where the stent, but probably because of where the position is. Well, the position of the tumor. Well, like I'll just
It
say
was
tumor.
they cut
Yeah.
me open and removed it, so
Yeah.
it's not there
So
anymore. It's what's left over that they're worried about.
yeah. So well, probably it kind of like your well, not nervous system, but the like your sense of smell, taste probably is affected. Maybe I don't
Now,
I
see,
don't know.
the only one I've noticed is my taste.
Okay,
My
so
appetite's
probably
been good. My nose has been good, but there's something wrong with when they zap me or chemoed me, one or the other. That every once in a while, my eyes or my nose will run. You know, it'll be just
okay.
like I'm crying or I have a cold and it comes out your nose. You know, and it's
Okay.
just so
Mhm.
something was affected in that area. You're right.
But that's just my 2 cents, like quick guess
Yeah.
out of it. Like I'm not a medical professional.
No, you're
It,
right. Those things, something in that area was affected, but the problem is, even if it was from the laser, you know that it continues on with your tongue, especially for in the chemo, and that's one
mhm,
of the problems people on chemo have is that finding that thing that they can tolerate to eat. You know what I mean?
okay.
That
Yeah.
gives them enough, also enough calorie. Like you can find a lot of things that are empty foods to maybe swallow, but you got to pay attention. That's gonna, you know, and it's very weird to hear. But when you're going to the doctor and the doctor's telling you put on some weight, you know what I mean?
Well,
Versus you need to lose some weight, and it's just kind of funny, you know, to hear that you need to put on some weight. I don't care what it is, and unless you're on the other end, and then it's like, what are you eating for lunch? You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I think that's one of the things is the irony of it all. Hello, Mike. How you
Well,
doing?
God, man, if I might have, but if I had to say one more thing, I would say,
Go ahead.
very admirable is your motivation to do all these things, man. You know, like some people, I don't know if you ever heard of Jason Becker. He's a real famous guitarist that was supposed to replace Van Halen, and he got ALS. You know, real similar to Stephen Hawking, and so I mean, he's still alive today. You know, I know Stephen Hawking passed away, but Jason Becker is still alive today, and he's kept alive by his close family. And he gets a lot of letters of people saying like, "Man, you're the whole reason I'm living today. It's a motivation." I'm not. I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to like death is impending to you because like, man, I think with your attitude, man, I think you'll fight this through. I think you'll live for a very long time, brother.
Yeah, I joke a lot. I mean, we don't know. I've already lost friends. I've already lost my younger brother. Right. I mean, things can take us out, and I like I said at the beginning, I have to remind myself that I am almost 60 years old. I mean, how many more years do I realistically expect?
Yeah.
And the average being at about 75, that only gives you another 15 years anyways. Well,
yeah.
How selfish are you? Do you want that 100 years?
Reasonable. Yeah.
Do you want that 150 years? So you bring the realism along with the emotion.
Yeah.
I'm not emotionless. Okay. I mean, when the doctor gives you bad news, you run the gambit, you know what I mean? And it is a terminal news. Now, like you said, it doesn't mean it's tomorrow, but for some people, it can mean 6 months.
Yeah.
So, it's like they said, you're at the mercy of modern medicine. You know what I mean? And if they can keep it at bay, you're in luck. And if not, you're out of luck. It's like going to Vegas or anywhere else, But I do appreciate you you're chiming in on
dude, I want to point out
what you would do.
It's not just your best attribute, but it's something that a lot of people can't do it better than you, man. It's something
I appreciate it. I really do. Hey, Chris, let Chris go real quick, and then we'll move on down the line here, Mike.
Well, it's Well, I wasn't really gonna say much thing that's relevant, but
Go ahead.
I'm surprised that you still got your hair at this point. If you're going through chemo,
I did well. I did lose some. I'm not shy about it. My hair, luckily, as far as the back grows, it's been growing in the back where they cut me, and the only real I've got a thin spot over here that shows. So if I comb it, you can see a thin spot. But mostly, I told the guy in my survey that I would call it 50% because it feels like I haven't washed my hair. You know, when your hair just feels thinner from not washing it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have that fullness. You have that oily thing on your scalp or your skin or whatever, wherever the hair is at. Does it on your chin too. You know, if it's holding in place without any gel or hairspray, you know it's kind of dirty.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a metaphor.
Yeah.
That what you represent right there, man. Because a lot of people don't realize and not taking a shower, letting that oil build up in your follicles, that it can it's a attributing factor to your own male pattern body, baldness and it also shows an unmotivation for life, like lethargicness, the 7 deadly sins, sloth.
I've gotten lucky with the hair thing. I mean. Hair on my head, hair on my face. It's
I want to say it.
Well, when you're sick, you don't always feel like doing it either. So it's like, just kind of see, is the comb going to get you through the day or what?
Saturday, dude, man,
anyway, I'm going to say, hope you're doing well. And
you too, Chris.
I'm guessing that you got about 6 months doing.
There's 14 scheduled. I've done 2.
Okay, so it's about almost like a year.
About a year, which was, yep.
And you're probably going to have to essentially incrementally, well, not my advice, but it's like you have to, given your age, you probably have to count the time on 5s and seeing if it kind of pops
up. Against your weight, and there's some kind of math they use for it, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so thanks for bringing me on. And
yeah, Chris, I'll talk to you. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, Mike, go ahead. And hello, Gio. How are you?
Your taste buds?
Yeah.
They regenerate every 7 to 14 days. And
yeah, I read about 10 days. So the problem is
chemo targets your taste buds. Okay, rapidly regenerating. So if you don't have taste buds, so how do salty things taste?
Terrible. And I love salt.
Okay.
So does sweet things taste terrible, and I got a sweet tooth.
Yeah, so I wonder.
Extremes are terrible. They really are. Too sweet, too. Well, I don't know about bitter, but some things are good. Like garlic and stuff is good.
Oh yeah.
When normally it would be too bitter. So some things are weird. But talking to my oncologist, she said that even though it regenerates, it could regenerate to like or not like something, because you could like or be able to tolerate some mashed potatoes, take for instance, today, but the next time you have them, your taste buds won't like them.
Depends on which ones die.
Yeah, so that's the worst part about chemo is it flops around the place, and it is not consistent enough either.
Yeah, garlic isn't your taste buds. Garlic is your nose. So what you got to do is find things that are pleasing to your nose, and then you have to find the right combination of sweet, bitter.
It smells good. It looks good. It like I was telling everybody earlier. Wife made pork chops earlier, and I had to pull that little medallion off right by the bone.
Yeah.
The best part of the tenderest, the yummiest part everybody wants from the pork chop, right? That little medallion in there. And she just pulled it right off, didn't even have a knife or anything else. Like, oh, beautiful, She didn't use much seasoning on it. She was just browning them, beautifully done. And I put it on my plate, and I cut a little piece and started okay. And by the end, it was just, it was all I could do just to swallow it.
Yeah.
And that's another bitch of it is the visual and the smell and everything is all there, especially like a gourmet or anybody would want, you know, until you put it in your mouth and you're like, oh my gosh, how can it taste so awful and look so beautiful, smell so beautiful, makes my belly growl.
Yeah.
I'll see things on TV, you know, and I was like, oh yeah, I could roll up to, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm a connoisseur, okay? But on these days, you know, it's like when you're getting over a cold, where any drive-through window will look good, right? And you go, oh yeah, I want a number 4 and a number 8, and chase it down with an extra large diet drink, and you know, whatever you get. But as soon as it hits your mouth, now what I found is it's because your mouth is also part of your. Yes, they regenerate, which is what they're targeting, is cells that regenerate quick. And also that because of they are you have all your different ones, right? So no matter what it is, if it doesn't like certain taste, then anything that tastes like that, like something that's, yeah, try liver. See, that's what the pork chop ended up tasting like. And my father used to force liver and onions on me, and I just can't do organ meat ever since. But I didn't want to bring it up though, because another man's feast, you know, knock yourself out. But yeah, I don't like to bring up individual foods, but man, that pork chop got awful close for the medallion. You know, pork chops are pork steaks, so they're calling them now. And you get that little medallion out of there. It's like a filet mignon of the pork chop, right? It's delicious. It's always delicious. And no, you know, it comes out just hello, old Joe. How you doing? Been a while. Good to see you.
Hello, old Joe.
So, you know, that's now, did you ever have any of those kind of problems, Mike?
What's that?
In your mouth?
No, I have no sense of smell.
Right.
And I have my sense of taste is good. So meat I really like because it hits my my tongue.
Red meat is terrible.
And I like salt. So what I think you need to do is find the right combination of something that smells appealing, but you have to get the right combination of different tastes so that it neutralizes your tongue, because you're reacting badly. Either that or you're going to get used to it. What do you think of ice cream? How does that work?
Well, it's been awful ever since my son's birthday time.
Okay.
Anything, any flavors have been awful. And if I'm not eating and nauseous, and the old lady fires up some peppers and onions and making him breakfast, you know, a stir fry type deal.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my goodness, there's not an exhaust fan big enough. We got the kitchen and the bathroom both running, turn the heat down and everything, trying to keep the smell, because it is such a overwhelming thing. And Eric Wander, you've been a member for 3 months. Hold on a second. Hail Bigfoot and toast. Here we go. You gotta love the toast. Eric Wander, hey, you know what? Just to break up the moment, we're gonna hit the Mike's favorite video.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
It's my antidepressant.
Thanks for hanging out with us, Eric. And yeah, it's not a subject like everybody likes to discuss, end times or diets, or it's not. They're just not popular topics, you know. Underground they are, but mainstream keeps. Well, I don't really want to talk about it. But I get asked a lot, and I've been very open about things. So I've been telling people, you know, I'm going to be open. I'm going to go on, and if I got questions or you got questions or whatever, fire away, because, you know, I mean, like I said, if I survive for X amount of years and I walk in front of a bus, the proverbial bus, or my heart just gives out some night, or, you know, whatever, you know, all of us with gray hair have pondered it, especially that, you know, today might be the last day. Next week, this might be the last holiday. Because now I'm thinking that kind of shit, you know. Yeah. Gee whiz, is this going to be my last Christmas or not? You know, am I going to see next Christmas or not? Now, how many Christmases am I going to see? Am I going to be the guy that cried wolf, and I'm going to watch everybody else drop off, and I still got the C buzzing around in my bloodstream because they got it maintained. See, I can't tell you, and you can't tell me. That's what's very frustrating, I think. And one of the things that they're giving, I mean, when they used to give you these prognoses, they could pretty much tell when you're going to be gone. Now they're putting you on a transplant list, new therapy list. So I mean, you've got a chance. Literally, you have a chance. Where it wasn't long ago.
Cancers.
Yeah, you didn't have a chance. Well, yeah, having a mastectomy or something and being around for a good long time. Sure, yeah.
If you have a treatable, manageable cancer, and it sounds like you're a good candidate for that, you're looking at 15, 20 years even. It's just it's going to be a little challenging, but
I'm feeling a little old, Mike.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be
Geo. I don't know how you guys are compared to me, but
I'm turning 3/4 of a century old next month.
Yeah, you are.
I have given my family history, I've got about 15 or less years left.
Well, my boss
go
always
really fast. Right?
My boss joked he wasn't going to make it very old because his father had a weak heart and he didn't live to an old age. So he had everything willed out and everything because he didn't figure he was going to live old. And last year he sold the place, the old garage, sold the old house, moved up to his uncle's old cabin, and he's refurbishing it and he's retiring up there. Never thought he would live to be that old. Thought for sure his heart would. And here he is, still trucking it out. And you've got other people. I known people that were marathon runners, healthy all their lives, massive heart attack or whatever they had, stroke, put them down, So you just don't know, you don't know. So I'm not emotionless. Like I told everybody, I've gone through my talk with God, so to speak, when I was alone and said, why do I have this? Why am I going through this? But then I try to tell myself, lots of people have lots of things, and you're old. You're not a kid. I do feel bad for kids that are going through stuff. Young folks should not, but yeah.
I've adopted an attitude about death. My death is none of my business.
Yeah.
Like when I'm dead, it's none of my business.
That's true.
And then you kind of bring yourself into the day and you realize that, like, if you get hit by a bus tomorrow, all of your days up to that day, or up to the moment you get hit by the bus, are you living your life? And you're living your life just as powerfully the moment before you die. And then after you die, it's none of your fucking business, right? You have no cares at all. So if you can kind of bring yourself into the present, and that's what I do. Well, I've been dealing with my death since I was 18 years old. My first suicide attempt.
What'd you hear about? What'd you hear when you heard the C word for the first time?
It was strangely anticlimactic. It was like
it is, isn't it? It's like, yeah. I said, take me to the ER and let's do this surgery real quick. Yeah. Take care of things in order, right? I know you want to do other, but the priority at the time was, well, cut the thing out the back of my head. And he said, we're taking you there right now. I mean, I will give it to him. They put me in an ambulance. They took me to the other hospital, confirmed the diagnosis. I talked to the surgeon. He said, I want to take your surgery right now. And he looked serious. He said, Dave, you better go to surgery right now. I'm going to take your surgery right now. And by around dinner time, I was in surgery. So, they were very serious about getting that thing out of my head.
Yeah, the weird thing with me when they first said you got a tumor in your kidney.
Yeah.
Tumor. The first thing that occurred to me is that it was almost like you're watching a movie and you're in suspense during the entire movie. So I've been in suspense for 75 fucking years, or 70 years at that time. And it's like, oh, this is what's going to kill you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, now I know.
Yeah, because they kind of leave you with the thought of, well, you're dead. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And then they said, but I want you to go talk to a surgeon, and then you're like, well, hold on. And they said, oh, yeah, you know, and I can't say that anybody said it, but obviously it's been thrown around the proverbial bus, right? Yeah, you could walk out of the doctor's office and get hit by a bus. None of it mattered. The entire exam he just gave you for 2-3 hours doesn't mean a thing if you walk out in front of a bus. And the same thing, if you go home, you know, and you're in a good mood, and you say, "Hey, lady, come over here," you know, and you roll the old lady over, and you have a nice heart attack, you know.
I had
pulling Elvis, and they find you on the toilet trying to pull off a big one, right? And hey, you didn't quite make it, strained too much, heart attack.
I definitely don't want to do that. I'd rather get hit by a bus. But
yeah.
But what really pissed me off is when they first told me I had a tumor in my kidney, the impression I got from my doctor is that he thought I was old enough that it didn't matter. So they were going to cut it out. And then I last week I talked to a nurse, and her husband had the same kind of kidney cancer, and he went to the same hospital here in Minneapolis, and he got his cut out. Well, right before my surgery, 2 days before it, I canceled my surgery and I called the Mayo Clinic, and they froze it out instead of cutting it out, right? And her husband, he lost his spleen. He's got stage 4 kidney cancer right now, and he did the same surgery that I avoided, which I really dodged a fucking bullet by calling the Mayo Clinic and getting hooked up with them instead of going through the butchers up here in Minneapolis. It's like, Jesus Christ. But I don't know. It's been a journey, and the thing is, like all of my life, I've lived with my death every day. So I've always had my death just sitting in a seat right beside me, because of my addiction and a whole bunch of other things that were going on. This has been a lifelong thing, and it's I've kind of come to terms with it in a really neat way. And I think part of it is, and Kafai's going to love this, is the mushroom journey I've done in the last 2-3 years, where I kind of become. As
we said, I should do a heroic dose versus.
Yeah, I don't know about that when you're sick, but yeah, the thing is, I don't recommend anybody starts with a fucking heroic dose. If you're going to get into the mushroom trip, which you want to do it, you want to microdose, and you want to really.
I was just wondering what anybody was, if anybody had some research on it.
I think you want to creep.
You want to go right into it.
You want to creep up on it.
Yeah, you want to creep up.
You don't want to creep up on it. No, you want to dive right in.
No, yeah. Okay.
Don't listen to these fools, these losers right now.
Head first.
Yeah.
I will check out your link there, Deconverter Man.
Okay, the first time I did it, Dave, I did 1 gram. I was scared shitless because what I was planning on doing.
See this pussy? You see this pussy?
It's getting into
sleep well, brainless.
My pinky toe into the water. Let me dip my pinky toe.
Yeah. I was
basically, with you, man. All right, go for it.
I was planning on dealing with my grief, right? I was going to face my grief head on, and I did a 1 gram trip, and as it turned out, that was it must have been some good shrooms, because I got into a pretty damn good trip on 1 gram. And the next time I did 3, and then I went on. But every time I did it, I was afraid of facing the thing that I was dealing with, the fucking losing my daughter, right? And I was afraid it was going to climb on me and make it 20 times as intense. What it actually did is it made it just unbelievably easy to deal with. It had just the opposite effect. So if you're facing, like what you got going on, right? That's why I'd say dip in toe at a time. The chances are you're just going to end up laughing at yourself. I mean, it's just like,
there's nothing you
really
can do.
It's kind of a cool thing, right?
And it's out of your control, right? It is. I am through and through an MRI patient. I am fully in the hands of whether they have hit. Like I said, it's one thing if I'm going through this and it's hitting the right cells too. It's another thing if it's hitting not the right cells, and I will know because it has gone to my brain. Any Scott was talking about was migraines, and that the closest I can understand now to a migraine is something that won't go away, which is what the neurologist was worried about, not the little bit of swelling by my stitches. Even today, there's like a little bit of swelling, along the suture there. But he says it's fine. He said that's normal to be there. But it's one that won't go away. And that's why I compare like to a migraine or something, where somebody, is such in bad shape they can't work under a light, under the fluorescent lighting or even work or whatever, something really bad. So that's what I'm most worried about, is because, one thing that really bothers me is stupid people. Okay. And you can use the word, we can dissect it or whatever, but when somebody does something really stupid, it really bothers me. It's like, what are you doing? And I say it to myself, that was stupid to do, right? Now you got to clean up the mess or redo it or whatever. You got yourself in trouble, whatever it was stupid. And everybody knows the general term, right? You did something stupid, okay? And you're stupid enough, you're mad at yourself. That's how stupid it was. How could you be that stupid? Well, these things really bothered me. So really, it's like I really don't want to be punished with being really stupid someday.
Well, you
know what I mean? That's my biggest fear, is just becoming stupid. And I'm using that in a general term,
Yeah, no, I see that. And like, man, one of my favorite quotes from McKenna, Terrence, he said, seemingly intelligent people do incredibly stupid things. And, in other words, like, if you were to
you would look them up to them, you're right?
Yeah, like, man, you would find yourself questioning your own epistemology, like, I did something incredibly stupid. You know what I mean? Like, at the height of it. Because what happens is, they call it ego death. And of course, you won't know what that means until you've had it, because you have to get rid of your own ego. Your self is in the way. You know what I mean? You're hiding yourself from the very illusion of your own enlightenment in a sense. And so, I mean, that's why it's always very tricky around these things and why language is so evasive. And
I'd rather have some.
Do you think there's a difference between knowing you're doing something stupid and just by chance?
You see, that's the whole thing. Like, in order
to know,
like you're saying, knowing, like the ego's not there to know. It's gone. Like, that's why they call it ego death. Like, who is there? Who is it that knows there is no ego?
Well, if I knowingly made an error, that would be different from just accidentally arriving.
You didn't hear my question. Who is it that knows there is no ego? Who are you asking? The ego?
Yeah.
Like, it's a rhetorical question. You only know when that aspect of yourself has dissolved completely.
Yeah, I don't understand the question.
Yeah, okay, well, you haven't had it then. You know what I mean? That's the whole point.
Hey, goodbye.
If you don't have it, then you can't ask why.
Yeah, you
what?
can't,
Had
what?
what?
That would be it.
What are you talking about?
You would just be saying, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
you
he's
identify.
asking the question. The ego?
Right.
Yeah,
what
get the hell out of here, man.
What is it you're talking about? I'm not kind of getting it.
There you go again.
Go ahead, Mike.
Age-old question that goes on forever.
Yeah, I just had something to
were
say.
you depressed, or did you just say, okay, Doc, what do we do? Or
you mean in my own approach?
No, on Mike when he was diagnosed. Did you just say?
I tried to convince this dude for years, man, and finally he got around to it. I don't even know if he had a heroic dose, and he hasn't convinced me he has. He hasn't convinced me he's done it.
Okay, let me address this young man in the room.
Oh,
this little lightweight. You fucking lightweight from Texas. I did a dose where I was so completely out of my body, and so it was like the equivalent of a 1,400 microgram LSD dose. And I've done doses of LSD that would curl you up and blow you away. So I have done heroic doses. It doesn't make any fucking difference. You're not going to see God. The ego death, yes, but no seeing God. So sorry, dude. But
Yeah,
Well, you know, there's
I-
there's also
I
an
have-
experience. There's an experience that people do have where they go into these experiences without the ego, with where the ego has already been suppressed, and then they take these altering substances, and it doesn't
Well-
affect. There's no ego
well, when you say
imbalance
ego right
because
there,
there
I
was
think
no
you're-
ego imbalance from the beginning.
Yeah.
If you understand.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
already prepared.
we're using those terms in two different ways. You know what I mean? You're understanding as like some aspect of your identity of yourself, and what I'm saying is
Yeah.
a complete, dissolution of that idea altogether. You know what I mean? You're still trying to frame it in such a way that you're doing it through the lens of the ego and trying to define it in a sense that there's still ego attached. There's still something there. I'm saying no, there's no such lens that you could even view it through. Like, that it's completely dissolved.
What I'm saying is there was no ego conflict within. I'm talking about myself. There was no
Yeah,
ego
no, I
conflict
understand that.
within myself that I experienced before taking any kind of
Yeah.
substances that altered my brain chemistry.
Yeah.
So it didn't affect my ego in any way because there was no necessity to have an ego affecting experience. You see what I'm trying to say?
Well,
Yeah, you're talking.
I've
You guys
had-
are talking about a state of mind.
I've taken heroic doses just like you have.
of what?
answers
What-
in Genesis.
What about health scares, Gio? I mean, I know some of the issues you've had, but
Well, my
what's your
the
serious
men
ones?
the men in my family all have heart disease and
Do they?
hardening of the arteries, and the women all have the cancers.
Okay.
The women develop the cancers. So I'm already in stages different in a lower stage of heart disease and hardening of the arteries, cardiovascular disease. So I'm
Mhm.
fighting that. I take medications for that daily, and that's a struggle because I'm often sick.
Let me put it this way. Then, I'm over here talking to Captain Desk about it and is suggesting it as, some advice. Why do you think I'm doing that? Do any of you have a single clue of why
It's like anybody does, they want to pass information on that might help somebody.
No. I'm not asking you, Captain.
Okay.
I'm asking Answers and GeoSam that they claim they've had heroic doses. Why would I suggest a heroic dose to Captain? Why? Do you
No,
have any idea? Okay.
I don't think a heroic dose is something anyone should do right away. I'm just saying. Because
I was asking was
who
in
doesn't
related to being sick, sick,
hold
or
on, Captain.
people
Look, who
talking
doesn't
about
think
it.
someone shouldn't do a heroic dose right away? Who? The ego?
I said that just personally.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Again, it's a defense mechanism of the ego to even say that in the first place. And that's
Well, no,
what I'm
no,
trying to get at. You don't see
Well,
that.
come on
No,
because-
I don't see it.
Bad medical advice is, you don't have to have an ego to
Well, what they
not want to
what they
give somebody
what'd you
bad
do?
medical advice.
You went through the normal stuff, Mike. Did you have surgery? Did you have
Yeah, I
chemos
had
then
the-
after?
No, the cool thing is I signed up with a Mayo, and my tumor.
Yeah.
I was like between stage 1 and stage 2, right? Because they caught it
Yeah.
early, and they were
Okay.
able to freeze it out. But when I heard about it, I was not depressed. I was oddly motivated.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it was like Plan B. Okay, now my whole life may have changed here, right? I may end up in chemo.
Yeah,
and
it's
all that.
a life change, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't need radiation or chemo or anything because I caught it early and had it frozen out and it didn't metastasize. So I
Good.
was fucking lucky as hell. And but when I first heard the word cancer, they called me at like 8:00 at night and said, "Oh, yeah." After I had a CT scan, they said, "Oh, you got a tumor in your kidney." And at that time, a Minnesota senator died the day before of cancer, and it was
Mhm.
like. And my friend was dying of brain cancer. In fact, I had surgery on the day of his funeral.
Well, it is
And-
one of those words, isn't it?
It is, but it was like, what the fuck? It was like, I thought my life was going to end, but it didn't affect me like I thought it would at all. It was.
I had that feeling too, like I wasn't going to
Yeah.
walk away from the doctor. It was like, okay, just put me right down here. I mean, you don't think
Yeah.
about tomorrow at all when they give you that kind of news.
yeah, it's just like what's right in front of you right now.
Mhm.
I'm really into this right here, right now, all the time, every day. It's like this constant, like I keep resetting myself to right here, right now, and it really
That's
has
well,
changed for me in the last 4 years.
and I never really thought about these end of days things, you know. And then all of a sudden, you start thinking like, what's it going to be like next year or whatever
Yeah.
when you're not here for Christmas, you know, what's going to be happening in the world,
well,
you know, are you going to live to this age or that age, or you know, and people who have younger folks, you know, are they going to go to their wedding, are they going to see the baby born, you know, are they going to be a great grandfather type deal, you know, all these things start popping in your head because you start all of a sudden those days matter because yeah, if you could live another month or two, you know, you could see the baby born, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You start you put those little compartmentalize, I guess, things, right?
real quick.
Am I going to
Captain,
see this? Yeah, go ahead.
and Ethan, just you know, I only answered that because you know you asked me, and I respect you. Brother.
Oh,
You know what I
sure.
mean? Like, yeah,
It's-
and like it's not
Yeah.
like I want to clarify real quick that I ultimately I don't think you really need it because I think you have a really inborn essence that you know that a lot of people can chomp off of and feed off from, like real that motivates a lot of people, man. I think you already have it. Like you there is no reason to do it. You asked me, of course I'm gonna say, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You asked me, should I do
That's
a
like
heroic dose or should I do a microdose?
Yeah.
What do you think I'm gonna say? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you to do
I
a
invite
microdose,
other
brother.
opinions. I
You know,
invite other opinions. It's like, you know, ideas about things to eat, you know. I mean,
yeah.
it
And
might
no,
be
no.
awful or you might have a good, like somebody said cottage cheese, you know. I said, you know what? I do not dislike cottage cheese. It's not my favorite thing to pick,
Yeah.
but I will eat. And lo and behold, it wasn't too bad in my mouth. So, you know, I mean, I invite these things,
Yeah, you
even
gotta
if they
find
don't
something,
sound.
Dave.
Yeah, I
No,
can't
no.
be losing weight. That's
No,
that's
You
the
gotta
main thing.
you gotta find that magic food and then just stuff it in your
Yes.
body.
Or-
Avocados
what
are very
I've-
high in nutrition.
I
and
know the
calories.
avocado thing. The wife is going to try and sneak it in something. To keep that one quiet.
Avocado.
Mrs. Desk is supposed to be.
Vinegar and
I say if
oil.
you can sneak. Well, she wants to put a spoonful of peanut butter in my mouth too, and
Yeah.
Yogurt is very calorie.
yogurt she
dense.
wants to put in my mouth. Yeah, there's
I'll-
different
I'll-
things she just wants to put in my mouth. I understand. I said, hey, if you can get away with it, by
Yeah.
all means, because I'm at the point of I don't have a lot of choices. That's the thing.
Peanut butter. Peanut butter is also calorie rich.
That's what I heard.
And
Just put
protein
a
rich.
spoonful right in my mouth.
Peanut butter.
And yeah, it has protein. Well, I did eat some peanuts, so
Well, there you go.
yeah. I said I've been trying. I just can't get the large quantities. You know, I got to get the quantities up a little bit. I think so. But I did try a lot of things. I've had like 3 glasses of milk today, so that's like a pretty good for me. And I've been drinking. I got most of those. About half of a big bottle of water gone.
So milk is
and-
tolerable to you?
Dairy products are fairly tolerable. Yes.
Okay, that's really,
they have some
really good
aftertaste.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, they have an aftertaste, but I can put it down, especially like drinking
Water.
the milk if I don't breathe through my nose and smell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Like
weird
Mike
that
was
you're-
saying,
It's weird that the smell would aggravate you, but like
I'm like a deaf or blind, you know, and I don't want to compare them, but a very much the similar to stories to where other things are highlighted. So because everything tastes bad, things smell very powerful. And when, like I say, the wife is cooking on the other end of the house, and I'm like, oh my gosh, turn on the fan. You know, that's what I put it in for him. It starts an argument, you know, and it's like, what, you can smell that? And it's like, oh man, the whole house reeks, you know? Oh, so I'm very,
it's weird that it would hit you that way.
it does. The nose
But I
hits
mean-
hits me and
Oh.
says, oh, that smells great, or that smells wonderful. But when it hits my mouth, excuse me, when it hits my mouth, it's not great or wonderful. You know, it's totally not the expectation. And that totally ruins it. And that's why open to suggestions, and especially ones that don't give me the hiccups.
So what
I
I'd
have
recommend,
one for you.
so what I'd recommend, Dave, is this: you've got the meat taste, you've got salt, you've got bitter, you got sour, and you got sweet. What you need to do is find some combination of those, okay, along with something that's tolerable for your sense
And
of
it's
smell.
not easy. Eggs are easy.
And yeah, but you got to experiment. You got to experiment by take those 5 things and you keep adjusting them until you find something that'll work. Yeah, like vinegar might work. Who knows? Or
Well, a
just
lot
a
of
little bit of sour, a little bit of sweet.
Yeah, see, that's a lot of little things, but it's what can I mix it with or mix it on to make
Yeah.
it filling at the same time? Because it's like this
Yeah.
seasoning or this taste or some might
Well,
be good,
rice.
but it's not enough. Yeah, the rice is a good one to fill. I'm gonna try some. Now I got the hiccups. Some about RXs give you the hiccups.
Yeah, that's
It's
weird.
Well,
something about
I
it.
make these shakes. I make these shakes out of yogurt, some milk, bananas, any kind of berries, and I
Oh, yeah,
put some
smoothies.
That's like what the
And-
doctor was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
any kind of blueberries, even fruits, any kind of fruits
I
you
like-
can put in.
they were tolerable. Blueberries and blackberries were tolerable.
I put peanut butter in the mix also, so that ups the protein.
Yeah,
value.
that's where they were telling
Any
me to put the
practice-
avocado in, stick the avocado in there with the berries and cover it up. And I was like, do it out of my sight, old lady. And, right. Because
I got one more for Captain Desk, real quick.
Go ahead.
Any fractals, Sam? Here's one.
Did you say
for you, man.
fractals?
Yeah, you
any
did.
fractals. Yeah. Okay.
Fractal? Yes, I really enjoy fractals.
Okay. All right.
They're
Well,
cool.
Fractals? You eat them?
No, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy them in general. I don't consume.
oh,
Go
wait,
ahead. Go
see,
ahead,
a lot
man.
of people don't know if you take enough psychedelics, you see fractals.
No,
everywhere.
at the raster, at the raster level, I enjoy.
These just make me laugh a lot.
Well, I have one for you, Captain.
Go ahead,
Right,
man.
fractals.
Fractals.
You know,
Hey, it's all good, Deep Star. That's why we're here talking about it.
I
Deep
enjoy
State, I mean.
fractals. Yeah, I enjoy fractals at the raster level. If anyone knows what that means.
I don't know what you mean by that. What do you
I
mean?
know
by
what a
that?
Rasta level is.
Raster.
Rasta?
yeah.
Raster.
Here's what I mean. That the whole suggestion of a heroic dose would
Yeah.
mean essentially a liquidation of the fear of death. People who have this experience, they no longer fear death. It's out of the question because they glimpse what happens after you die. Once you know what happens after death, then where do questions arise? And
Me
that,
too.
yeah, that's the point. That people who speak of so-called mystical experiences, and if I was going to push this on Captive, he's already questioning. Like my dad recently just told me that his dreams have been very weird. Like a lot of people dream of insecurities, like, oh, they're going bald, they're dreaming of a bald head, or they're losing their teeth in their dream. Like some things that really bother them.
Gotta pee.
Yeah, or you gotta pee. Yeah.
Where is that toilet at?
That's my main one. Hell yeah. I dream of that all the time, man. Good
So do
call.
I.
What
What room is it in?
If your insecurity is death, you're gonna have the weirdest dreams. Why? Because you don't know what happens after you die. Yeah,
That's
and
true.
You're
I
speculating.
I do vectors. I do vectors.
Yeah.
Vectors are great.
Well, what is heaven? Heaven is what you think it is, right? So it's hard to
Being
define for anybody
Is it-
else.
Is it
Yeah.
what you think it is? Is that what
Being
you think?
dead.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Well,
And that's why
okay.
people see things and why people don't see things. Some
Let me
people
tell
see
you-
things as a continuance, and some people see things as the end of. So it's depending how you look at it is what you're going to think it is. I think.
You think so? All right.
Yeah.
No. I respect that. I'm not gonna caution you.
Well, if you
but-
and even by religions, if you want it to go on, it does. If you don't want it to go on, it doesn't. In
what's
some
the
way
most
or form.
interesting aspect of hell or heaven that you've ever heard in your life?
Well, the most I can give to anybody is the that you can't destroy energy, that it continues on a form.
Yeah.
So we
And,
do
that's,
continue on, and our elements do continue on.
I love
What they
that,
continue on as, I think, is where the
I've heard
speculation
you say
comes
that
in.
before. It's a basic one that you've hold to for a very long time. A lot of people hold to that one. It's a,
Yeah.
of course, entropy.
And we'll find out. We
Yeah,
won't
no
we?
one's going to beat entropy. I agree.
That's the thing, is nobody really wants to find it, because I sure don't want to go there. And when people in the chat are, I'm sorry about your news and everything, and it's like, yeah, nobody is happy about that, even though we're all gonna face it. From the time we're born, we're all facing that.
What do you think if I don't have like some assumption about what occurs when I die? What then happens?
It's going to bend towards what actually happens when you die.
No,
Right.
but if I don't have any expectation of, I'm going to go to some heaven or some hell or some.
But no one knows what that means.
Then it's you're left with lights out, right?
What are you left with?
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
It's well, then you have the question.
Tell you earlier, it's like what happens when the ego is gone.
Yeah, but where does somebody go who has no expectations for an afterlife? Where do they go?
That's what you get. That's what you get then. Yeah. That's why I say you get what you want. I mean, if you think you're going to see Jesus, you're going to die with that feeling. And whether you go to see him or not, you're going to die with that feeling. So that's going to make you happy or worrisome or whatever.
Man, there's
if you think you're going to fly with an eagle, well, you're going to fly with an eagle. If you think the lights are just going to turn out, there was an interview with a guy was in the snow off an Alaska road. He was not a believer, and he just said it was like a dimmer. I mean, things were just being tuned out.
Well, maybe I should come up with a scenario that will happen when I die.
It can differ that much, Gio. I mean, sure,
I haven't really come up with a concept of what might happen to me when I die, except for other people's concepts, and I don't want that.
Tupac? See, I'm like, I'll mention.
Is that the 7 times or something?
Yeah. No, Tupac had real interesting comments on that. Of course, I study comparative religion myself. I would talk about Simeon the New Theologian or Meister Eckhart, names that you probably do have, have you read their works? I challenge answers in atheism on Spinoza, and he claims.
Yeah, you're all fucked up on
Spinoza.
Spinoza.
He says I'm all fucked up. Oh, and Alan Watts, right? We disagree on Alan Watts too, right?
Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Yeah, and Alan Watts.
Joe's had his own with his chest being split open. He had heart surgery how many years ago?
Yeah.
I'll try to put it simply.
That puts him on the bus too.
You know what's really crazy?
What about you, Kafai? You haven't said have you had a serious health issue?
No, I have actually. Yeah, alcoholic. I was bleeding.
That was for you.
Rectum. Yeah, like really crazy. Man.
It put my brother away before his 50th birthday, so I would never make fun of anybody with their drinking, because that's a hard mistress, let me tell you. And I don't mean that in any way, but
that's a hard road.
Man,
I know why they call it rot gut, because it really is. It rotted out his guts.
I'll tell you how, like one thing that a lot of people overlook and miss is, you ever heard of DTs, the abbreviation DT?
Sure. That's where you have to leave it. Yeah.
Delirium tremens. Yeah. It stands for delirium tremens. It's like the hallucinations, seizures that you go through when you try to go turkey, from drinking quite heavily. And it's, for me, it wasn't even stopping, like an attempt to stop drinking. It was that I lost. I was working for T-Mobile at the time. I was getting paid really well, like $700 a week. It's not, not that badass, but $700 a week, you can do a lot. You can do a lot with that. And
sounds good to me.
Yeah. And after that, I found Google. But aside from the point, when I lost the contract, and I had to diminish my position, and I didn't stop drinking. I had to go to a lower alcohol percentage because I couldn't afford what I was usually drinking, which is a double IPA every single night. You know, I was really lavishing my taste buds with a double and triple IPAs. You know what I mean? Like these really expensive.
Well, that was my brother was drinking stuff, and it was on the rocks, and it was in a fancy glass. He had his own
It
little
doesn't have to
bar,
be that fancy.
and it sure looked good. He wasn't in the sleazy alleyway or nothing, but gee whiz, I mean, you're putting the stuff away and you're putting it away.
Yes.
And it's like, it does become rot. You're not even enjoying it anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
I read that.
And hold up a second.
Yeah,
we've got Stop the Stupidity that's gifting all the great folks watching 5 captive desk memberships. We want to check out. It goes out to Brooklyn Lou, Ducks Y,
Right.
Dark Light Delirium, which is Dane, S Dog, and there should be one more? Maybe not. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there should be one more, but I haven't caught up yet. And to whoever I went out to, enjoy yourself and stop the stupidity. Today is a good day, so we're celebrating, and you're going to celebrate with me. Stop the stupidity. You get the new one. Here you go, just for you.
Bigfoot stomps. Yeah. Bigfoot stomps. Through the dark, through the swamps, he says you rock, he says you roll. Bigfoot stomps on your soul. Bigfoot stomps on your soul.
Hey,
I got
stop the
gifted a
stupidity.
membership to
You
Yerba
rock.
Mate Talks.
Well, you got them on two months in a row, so you're doing all right. Dane just saw their name. Hey, Dane. You rock, Stop the Stupidity. Thanks for being a great supporter of the channel since day one. Stop the Stupidity has been a supporter of the channel. So,
All right.
if you've got Stop the Stupidity to stop and buy your channel, that's too many stops in one sentence. Then you've got it going on, because Stop the Stupidity knows where to go. So thank you, Stop the Stupidity. And those folks that got your emoji machines now, drop those emojis in the chat, please. We welcome emojis here. And if you have a wrench, drop your links here. All that stuff that you can't do on other channels, I've noticed. Some you can. That it seemed to annoy them. It's all good here. That's what it's for. It's like what do you call it? The boards up on there, you know.
Hey, I have to hit the
billboards.
road. I have to hit the road.
Oh, you okay?
All right, Gio, good for stopping by, and you're always welcome to come by at the channel.
Yeah. Come by and talk more often.
Yeah.
I will. And thanks for letting me come on and shoot the shit, so to speak. Or what?
Yeah, we'll see you next time, man.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah, we try to mix in some good stuff there.
Has
Joe,
anybody ever tried to literally shoot shit?
I don't know. Hey, did you send me a thumbnail for tomorrow? I'm supposed to be on with Joe tomorrow. Where's it here?
Who? Oh,
Joe over the Kentucky Atheist.
Oh.
Is that the same thumbnail, the one you sent me, or have you made a new one for tomorrow? Let me know, would you? Send it to me on the Discord or whatever. Yeah, how you doing, Dane?
Shoot is shit with 2 O's, man.
And Stop the Stupidity. Great, like I say, I just can't say what a great supporter. And there they are, dropping emojis.
That was one thing we never thought of is when we were kids, shooting the shit. I don't know.
Right?
I never thought of
Well,
that one.
Why do you take a pee? Why do you take a pee with you but leave a crap where you're at?
Yeah, there you go. Well, I guess one is better than the other. I don't know.
Okay, Joe, sounds good.
It's the better of 2 evils, or whatever the hell it is, or
Yeah. I understand. I understand, busy. I was just asking is all, because I was going to put it on my community. So let me know if you do one. If you're a bit too busy to make one up, I understand. Just put our names on. We're good to go. And if you have any issues, let me know. I've got hours on mine and all that good stuff. So never think you're down and out with me, Joe, because I've always got hours to spare.
I'm gonna sign out in a few moments, man. But I wanted to say one more thing, Captain.
Yeah.
I have this attitude that I remember talking to one of my friends, cousins, real close dude that I've known for a real long time.
It's been a few times, yeah.
And he, we were talking about near death experiences, and he's like, hey, it doesn't even matter because like I'll deal with it when it happens. Like, like why are you talking about like why are you bothering me with this now? Like
people misuse it too. I mean, like I said, I was near death when I got the word from the surgeon that you need to go to surgery right now. I mean, that's near death. When a surgeon tells you, I got to crack your head open right now, that's about as serious as you can get, right?
No, I agree. And, some people like either it didn't bother him, and like, he's like, I'll deal with it when it comes, but some people kind of live their life in like answers and like asking questions, getting an answer, asking questions, getting an answer, like, over and over, without ever coming to terms with the, near death. Like this guy just took it in stride, whereas people question it throughout their entire whole life. And,
eventually you do, or it eats you up. I mean,
yeah. And
I gave it some time, and I think Mike did too, where there comes a time where you say, okay, you know what I mean? You've got to move past this,
Yes. I see you that way, man. Like you're not one of those dudes that gets tripped up on that. And
it's the realism and creeping in that, you're not going to live forever. So are you going to, is something going to take you out this year or 5 years or when you're a young person? I mean, gee whiz, that 5-year-old that just got diagnosed. I mean, that's all I can think about. You know what I mean? I'm 60 years old. Mike's 70 years old. We're old, right? And you hear about a 5-year-old. It's like, what's wrong with the world, right? Things get totally thrown out of balance when things hit you like that.
Yeah. No, yeah. I love that about you, man. And
I appreciate it.
At the same time, man, like I'm over here coming from a vantage point.
We all got to help each other out how we can. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm no expert or anything. This is just Minecraft, but if somebody can hear it and understand something or whatever, what I've been through and what other folks have been through, and knowing that other folks do have problems too. If it's not this, it's lots of other things. I mean, hospitals and universities have whole wings dedicated to different parts of the body. You know what I mean? People have all kinds of problems. And then when you think you've made it all along, then you have a childbirth to go through and you're back at the hospital. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about a good or a bad.
When I went down to the Mayo Clinic, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of people in that hospital with you at the same time. And some of these people are going through so much shit that when you go there, I mean, I was like, holy shit, what I got is nothing compared to these guys.
Yeah.
Right.
There's so many people on this.
Well, people since you've known since school. Since you've known from school, or since you were a child yourself, or your sibling was a child themselves, that, they've gone through this kind of mess all these years. And it's like,
it was humbling.
It is. Yeah. It's very, even if you have something terrible, I still feel like, Logic just had surgery. Well, I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Because he had surgery. Now he's going to, it's a minor surgery. He's probably going to be okay from it. And it looks like his prognosis is good. And, good for you, Logic. And I see what you look like now, buddy. Been watching all these years. I finally caught him. Did you see it, Kafai? Was his story?
I can relate to that. I know what you're talking about.
Well, he put his story on without his mask. So anybody who wants to hear his story, he tells about his health issue. And he does it without a mask on. So
yeah, I mean, I could do it right now. I'm not gonna oblige anyone, but
Well,
no,
it's,
you know what
it's just
I guess-
unusual for certain
Yeah.
people. That's
Well,
all.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I totally get you on that. But real quick, if I had to say any comments on that from a lot of the neuroscience that I study, and it would be that they do run studies on terminally ill cancer patients that they're on the final stage of their cancer.
Oh, I just got an ad for they're doing some trials on people with they call us number 4 in our small cell number 4.
And I noticed that you have a better attitude than I don't think like for instance, I'll give you an example. There's a lady that was so hardened by her experience with the chemo and the cancer that she couldn't even have dinner with her family because death was so weighted on her mind. Stop me if you've heard this example before. I know I've told Answers in Atheism, but I don't know if you heard it, if you've heard me say this, but the death was so weighted on their mind that they couldn't even function in everyday reality because they kept on at the back of their mind.
That's what you got to get over. You got to go, okay, like I was talking, for Mike too, is you reach a point where you got to go, okay, I got to get out of bed today, or I got to take a shower, or whatever
see, you say it so casually, dude. You say
but you have to reach that point. Yeah, I understand that.
I agree with you, man. But there's so many people that can't even see that.
That's the thing. Yeah, it is tough.
That's what you have that people can't even grasp. Like, man,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's why. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I love you, man. Because you have that, and that's kind of spark, man, could influence like beyond your atheism, beyond your
that's what I'm trying to tell people. We're all the same, right? Whether you're an atheist or not, this has nothing to do. I haven't even brought that up because
that's your most infectious attribute.
Yeah, right, not tonight. We talk about those kind of things. This was purely just about people's health and knowing that. Just regular folks that you're not alone, at different people's opinions. That's why I asked you and I've asked Mike and everybody else, hey, have you suffered? Have you dealt with things? Asking Gio what he's dealt with.
Oh, yeah.
I know people have GoFundMes because they're dealing with things.
Yeah.
There's young folks that are dealing with things. Hey. All these people deal. And then not just one thing. But when they're dealing with this and that and this and that all at once, and they're taking all these pills and they're contradicting each other. One's bringing you up, one's bringing you down. Then you got to worry about your heart or your breathing or you're going to the bathroom or you're sleeping or not sleeping. All the side effects just haunt you and make it everything so much worse is how all the drugs just can't get happy together, and fix you. That would be nice.
You're you, man, because if you were answering atheism, I would be challenging you to debate right now. We're gonna have a mega bug.
They're watching, Mike. Mike's a good guy. Mike's a good guy. Full of advice.
Yeah. No, I love both of you, man. I've known Mike for the longest time, man. Over 10 years, man, probably.
Well, we appreciate everybody's opinion, and as long as somebody isn't pushy or too cocky with it, opinions are always welcome. Like I said, I'm open to natural remedies and everything. I have friends they're sending me messages at the hospital. Have you tried this oil? Have you tried this oil? Have you infused? All the questions start flying. I'm open to all these things, but for now, I am doing the chemo because
try one of my concoctions.
It is proven. You know what I mean? No offense, but I don't have any numbers to look at. Whether these things are good or not, there's really not numbers to look at. And the government is part of the problem. I understand all that as well, too. But the realism is they cut the thing out of my head and they said, we're going to give you these other treatments in case they called me basically like the weed in the garden, right? Yeah. You pull the weed out, you want to make sure you get all the little taps too, or it's going to come right back.
Yeah.
And that's, I like a straight understanding of, okay, they took out the main problem and they want to make sure the little specks are all taken care of at the same time. That's what they're doing. And because of what I was asking about taste, because your taste buds do rejuvenate every other week and a half or so, you are a target from chemo because chemo is looking for the same kind of things they're trying to resurface, like the weed in your garden. So it has to go down as a casualty of, a side casualty. I don't want to say the W word, but as a side casualty, because Logic is, no, I was watching Logic's video though. And I'd never seen Logic without the mask on, so I had to watch. And it was at the same time he was going through this. He's in Canada, so he had to be on a list. And apparently they only took your gallbladder out when it hurt enough. That's the kind of list they have up there. Yeah, so and there's one guy who finally signed off. It's Logic, no mask diagnosis or something like that.
Okay.
Put in some mask and you'll find it's one of his recent ones. And he's just kicked back and you can see that he has I'm not going to give it away, but he's got something in the mask there that you didn't know he had. So
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you, Captain, man. Thank you.
Okay, man. Hey, anytime.
You too, Answers Nathan's, man. It's always a pleasure. Captain Vest, it was real badass speaking to you, man. Hopefully I get another chance to speak to you.
Okay, you can call me Dave too.
All right. Thank you, Dave. It was awesome.
All right, man. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, like I said, I welcome all opinions, and especially with this eating things, and if anybody's got a good idea, like with the cottage cheese, I was like, oh yeah, I even have a taste for a pizza. Now the dough has been bothersome, but I was thinking maybe if I dip it in like some melted butter and like garlic or something, like the pizza joints give you, that it might be palatable that way. Because I really want a pizza. I'm a pizza junkie, and let me tell you, I haven't had a bite of pizza in a long time.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to think of how it could, be palatable. I don't really mind the cheese. It's the, the doughs and the crusts and stuff like that. So, that's what I've got to overcome. Yeah, I've been watching Logic so long, and it just came up that he was having surgery at the same time. The only thing I've ever had is emergency room visits up until recently.
I can't find it, Dave. So why don't you send me a link to it if you find it?
Okay, well, I've got it. I know I've got it because I watched it.
None of the searches work. So anyway, yeah, shit.
Either that you broke it, Mike. Now, so here's Logic right here.
Okay, did I break it?
And Logic videos.
Maybe I broke it. I break things.
Yeah, he's right here. It's I had surgery. Here's what happened. And in exclamation points, warning, face. I'll give you the thing. Hold on.
Oh, here, I found it. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, found it.
There he is. I will.
You got it.
I will copy it anyways.
Yeah, put it out in chat. So people
Put it on.
see it.
If you haven't seen it or you haven't seen Logic, this is your opportunity. So here you go.
So I want to. If Kafai is still out there, I don't know if he ran off or not. I had something I want to talk to him about. So if you come on my channel,
Okay.
sometime, there's that whole psychedelic discussion is something that people that get into shrooms, that's all they want to talk about, right? And other people get sick.
And
of
we're
it.
not giving any medical advice here. We're just talking about Minecraft.
No, but I would like
Go ahead,
to.
Mike.
I would like to have some really good long conversations about that, because I guess like last year or a couple of years ago they did a statistic, and something like 8% of the people in America tried shrooms for the first time a couple of years ago. That's how popular it's getting.
Yeah.
Right? 8%.
I know
that's
some
fucking
friends
1 in 10.
that I know some people that microdose and stuff. So
Yeah.
It
Microdosing is real big. But anyway,
that's why I was asking you and him both if any word about
microdosing might help you with.
as some microdosing.
I would try cannabis oils too, as far as controlling your like that might change your taste situation.
Somebody else wants to hook me up. They sent me messages when I was.
Yeah. But, you know, all
the
that-
Simpson treatment or whatever, the guy that's doing the infusions, and he
Oh,
claims to have cured himself and people all around
Yeah,
the world and stuff.
I
Was he-
don't think it's going to cure cancer, Dave, but it has a lot to do with side effects.
Yeah, it does. Some of the stuff are people that, you know, they're looking for hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they just, like I said, with talking to Kafai too, there just aren't the numbers. I mean, the government doesn't keep a lot of these numbers on these illicits as they put them. So you're going to have a problem with that right off the bat. Is you don't have nothing to compare. I'm not saying it doesn't work, obviously. And how you doing, Bree? Good to see you. Obviously, there are something in it that does things for your stomach and calms your stomach. They've been giving out to patients for years for that.
Yeah.
What it does for other things, there isn't the testing done for it. That's
So
all
my
I can
dad
say.
back in he died of cancer in 1982, and the year before he died, he had my sister go out and get him a bag of marijuana. My dad he come from the anti-drug, you know, era, right? He was a World War II guy, and he was just so anti-drug, and I couldn't believe he actually smoked marijuana, and it made him feel better.
When my grandfather was going out on lung cancer, he had him take everything out of the hospital room so he could have one last cigarette.
Oh yeah, my Uncle Ernie. I remember my dad propped him up and lit him a cigarette on the 24th of December, and he died at a little bit after midnight of lung cancer. And he had my dad give him his last cigarette. It's like,
that was
way to go,
that was in
Ernie.
the
That
day
was a
where
man.
they would take the oxygen right out of the room for you and let you light.
Well,
I saw somebody wheeled out one day. Looks like they were going out for one of the nurses bundled them up and took them outside for that. But they
When I went
really
to the
are against
doctor-
that anymore.
When I went to the doctor in the early 60s, the doctor would light up a cigarette before he started talking to you. And
I
then
had
I'd
a
light,
family
in his
doctor.
office, right?
I had a family doctor that smoked a pipe. What you got there? And Kafai's still in the chat if you want to send him out a word there. Mike wanted to talk to you about some Kafai, so please get a hold of him. And what's your he wants to talk to you about shrooms and whatnot. So get a hold of Mike at Answers in Atheism, Kafai. All right. I think his email is, what's your email? Your name and the number 1 or something?
He's got my phone number, so all he's got to do is
Got my
text me.
number? All right.
He's
Get
got
a hold of Mike, Kafai. You hear us? Okay. But I think that's the scariest thing is some of the wording and the misunderstandings and, you know, like are we even going home, you know? And their nurse was like, could see it in my eyes or something like, you're going home. Don't worry about it. And she was, even after 4 days in the ICU, you're doing good. You're going home early. Don't worry about it. You know, that there is a tomorrow, and there is always hope for people. There are people that are, quote, cured. They go into a remission or type thing or something, or they've gotten enough chemos or whatever. It's done them a world of good, and they, you know, scared the crap out of the cancer. There are the ones that are controlled and they extend years onto their lives. So from the old days though, it was a death sentence. They didn't have all these wonderful operations, you know, doing things for people, surgeries where they can remove things like they did with Mike and everything. Sounds like Mrs. Desk is home.
Yep.
So they do have a lot of modern things and modern wonders and modern medicines. And, you know, like with the chemos, I mean, we're not big on chemo, but it's not the favorite thing to do. But they do attack things. There are successes in people in the Petri dish, right? They are taking out some good things. It's not all bad.
Yeah, cannabis, I guess, works in the Petri dish so far on some cells, but there's no evidence that transfers over so far. So I don't know.
See, that's what one of them was talking about in this movie, that it seems to attack certain ones, but not other ones.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems of calling it a cure is that it might take this out in a dish, but if you put the same thing in there, it's still there in the other dishes.
Yeah.
That was one of the problems. So like you were saying, I think it depends what kind it is on whether it will do anything effective or what somebody would call effective, because the bottom line is there was still some obits at the end of this movie. So it's not working. Alternatives are not working for everybody. So that's an obvious fact. Now, proven things don't work for everybody either. So again, not saying against anybody that uses alternatives or uses alternatives alongside chemos or anything, radiations or any type of things you're getting. There's just no numbers for it, you know?
The problem with cancer is that there's actually no such thing as cancer. It's unique to every individual. It's a unique
isn't it?
Disease, right? And now they're coming up with this this new RNA treatments for cancer, where they're able in a lot of cases, and they're going to get really good at this. They're going to be able to come up with exactly the right little RNA cocktail, so they can give you an mRNA vaccine, and they're going to be able to go after your.
What they're working towards,
And the FDA, they got them to do something good that Robert Asshole Kennedy did, is he lowered the bar for getting that approved, because if they come up with a drug that's only for you, you can't afford to go through a fucking 5-year approval process, right?
Oh, I know.
And it's only going to be for you, so nobody's going to pay for it.
I've heard about somebody hit with some of these trial numbers, and they want you to pay a small fortune. It's like people don't make that much money.
I know. Yeah. Fucking crazy. But, we're both alive today. How about that, Dave? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I said, people decades ago would get a death sentence, and it's sorry to say, but I still have in my head that thinking that way. You hear the C word and it's just terminal tomorrow, But for many people, it's decades still down the road, So it's amazing how far they've come. And with surgeries, so like you said, some people just take a surgery, they remove the thing, especially if it's not cancerous yet. Thank Bigfoot it's not. They could take it out of you. Well, they didn't think of taking things out of you. It just wasn't that long ago. So we have to appreciate the times we're in that, with the targeting, the worst I got was extra. What side is it on? I think it's on this side. Worst I got out of it was an extra part, when my hair's wet.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't lose my chin hair. I didn't lose my eyebrows. You know what I mean?
My son got really, really sick from radiation. That was back about, I think that was about 6-7 years ago, maybe 10.
It's what they target too, and what it's near. See, that's what gives me hope, is that my stuff is as minor as it can be bad, right? I have something bad, but I have the best of the bad, right? And my age, my health, that they found it, that they removed it, that it wasn't deep in my head. I mean, you know about that. If it's deep in there, the worse it gets.
You're lucky.
So they found it, and it was on near the outside. It was easily operable. All these things they wouldn't have dared done too long ago. No way they would have cut my head open, that long ago, because, that was basically lobotomy time. I mean, you were done. Once they started poking around in your head, you were a robot.
Yeah.
They would mess you up. And then with the original radiations, the whole body thing, they're just zotting you and everything in the room, right? That's where everybody's hiding somewhere behind a lead door or whatever, okay? Now they're coming in and checking on you while you're getting your stuff done. And the worst thing that separated me from the chemo guy was he was putting on a plastic outfit, whenever he would handle the drugs.
Oh yeah.
Everything else. I mean, that's as worrisome as they are anymore, compared to lead doors that are 4 foot thick.
I think
things have come.
They gave me
I
some
just say
kind
they
of
come a
scan.
long way.
They gave me some kind of scan, and they all ran out of the room before they turned the machine on.
Oh,
It's
wait,
like,
what are
wait a
you
minute,
doing
what
to
about
me?
me?
Yeah,
What about
right.
me?
And they always leaving the room and leaving you there.
Yeah, it's like, fuck.
Well, hey, I heard Mrs. Desk is home, so I'm gonna go say hi to her. And
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I want to do the stream. I want to let everybody know I'm still here. I'm going through treatment. How it is, what level you're getting. Yeah, chemo sucks. It messes with your sleep. It messes with your belly, and it can mess with a lot of things. I guess your vision, your hearing. It can mess with all kind of things. Now, of course, this is just my experience in Minecraft. Do not take me as a doctor or anything, but hopefully, if you're going through this and you stumbled on this video and, you see we're having a good time. We've got another survivor over this way. He had a minor spell, but he is a survivor. There are survivors. There are people that manage these things and hang in there and let you know that sometimes you're just not going to get a cure tomorrow. That's gone for a lot of diseases. But look how many things they've cured over the years. Look how far they've come in a lot of things. And they are working with nanotechnology, immunotherapy, getting your own body to fix itself. All kind of amazing things are on the horizon. So hang around, and especially the next generation, hang in there as tough as you can because things are on the horizon. They just announced something for diabetics, and my son is diabetic. He's got his fingers crossed for that he can get a shot or a pill too. So hang in there. They just might give you your own germs or your own genes right back to you and have it fix you all up. So, of course, me and Mike Soap, we know we're old guys, all right?
Yeah.
But it would sure be great that these young folks would never, ever have to even deal with this, and it's just something that you read about in the books. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it, Mike?
Yeah. The only reason I'm still alive is because I'm a hypochondriac whiner.
Yeah.
And I caught it early.
I'm so ornery, hell doesn't want me. So
yeah, that's it. Anyway. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody, and we'll just play a Captive Desk outro. And thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope this helps you. I hope you understand a little bit about where I'm at. I did get a bad diagnosis, but I've got a lot of good science around me. And here at the Captive Desk, we value science. We value how far it takes us and the life it gives us. And like Mike and I told us, we've gotten the bad news, and we're still here. And they're still planning visits and sending me bills. So, yeah, they plan them. Yeah, they plan to keep me alive.
Pay them.
Right.
Hey,
So,
okay. Good night. I'll see you.
Good night, Mike.
Okay.
Thanks for joining in, and thanks for all the panelists that join in. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know I'm still here. We also heard from Simos. Simos is still vertical. We're all a bunch of old guys that got gray in our face, and but it doesn't prevent us from making videos whenever we can. And we plan to be here. We plan to be here Saturday as usual. And this was just your update. This was a lot of viewpoints. This was from Minecraft land. We are never professionals. The worst thing that's been affecting me has been my taste buds. And I did lose a little bit of hair, not too much. It is a little thin, but we're hoping for some hair growth. And I am smoke-free. So please, folks, if you do smoke, I'm not being a hypocrite or that guy or anything, but maybe consider not doing it, okay? And I would appreciate seeing y'all the next time. And we're going to go out with my outro, I think. I can get it to play. There it is. Goodbye, everybody.
Tales of lore knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor. silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor. Looking at the captive text, nerves are wide, hearts are keen, pages turn to secret scene, ancient maps in Italy.